Hello everybody and welcome back to Slay the Spire, where we are climbing Ascension on Flagbearer, which is a mod that I have made. There it is, the Flagbearer. Well, we're not on Ascension 20. We are on Ascension 3. Oh, I should still click the box. So, for those that might not be familiar with this mod, I made it. We are doing an Ascension climb on it. Quick rundown is that it is a stance switching character similar to Watcher. Except the stance progressively gets worse over time, so you need to make sure you're planting, recalling, going between both stances to make sure you get the most benefit. So, part of why I'm doing this series is so that I can talk about cards that I've made. I've sort of given myself the restriction that I shouldn't talk about any cards that I have not, that I don't pick. But, quick overview of the deck, because some people... Well, you should go play the mod. Go play the mod. But if you haven't played the mod, we have Command. This is our main stance switcher. And this lets us buy back our stance switcher and base deck. 4 strikes, 4 defense. Let's get into it. So, let's take a random rare relic. That's pretty nice. Big fan of this early because there's a lot of awkward blocking numbers in Act 1. I guess we're on Ascension 3. I really shouldn't worry that much because we're on Ascension 3. But I've definitely... We got pretty close to dying the last couple times, so maybe I shouldn't underestimate it. Yeah, I'm still trying to find the right balance between, thinking about things to say about cards and then, just sort of playing the game, because I like the runs where you could just dictate the game that is actually being played and then kind of go with that. So I think it's I want the Flaming Elite, but at the same time, there's this early shop that I'm probably not going to buy anything at. But... who knows? Maybe Flagbearer has good commons, so let's just do it. So we're gonna have 3 passive damage here from Pulse. And let's see what we got. So, Recall Focus, Temporal Spike, Borrow Time. It's Recall Focus is really good. I don't know if I talked about this card yet. Sure, let's take it. So, Recall Focus is the stance switcher equivalent, or Watcher has a stance switcher equivalent that lets you draw cards. And I have to do... sorry, just one more decision. Do I want Eerie or Time Fisher? It's we kind of want more damage, so probably this, even though I want the value so bad. I want the value so bad. Oh, I want the value so bad. It's fine. We'll take the value. We're on Ascension 3. I won't get punished. But yeah, I don't know what the stance exit equivalent is on Watcher that lets you draw. There is one. Don't remember the name. But this one... I had some, issues with this, I think. Because... does the one on Watcher draw a card if you don't exit the stance? I don't remember now. But this card, can still go infinite, but also had, some issues with going infinite, and it was sort of a design pillar to not have infinites, or, to the best of my ability, not include too many infinites. Part of the reason was that I liked Watcher a lot, but I didn't like the way that Watcher got used as a combo machine. Do you want more damage here? We do have Time Fissure. Phalanx is really good, but also if we need more damage, then I think Blade Work is better, or perhaps Light Beam. I can probably, you know what, we're on lower Ascension. I think what I should do is take the Light Beam and then talk about it, and then not need to talk about it on a future run. So, I'll take Light Beam. But yeah, Recall Focus... I'm trying to think. It's you can go infinite with a low deck count and 2 recall focuses and then some kind of payoff. I think the problem with doing that is that you need to have drafted no cards and also 2 uncommons, and then I realized actually later that it sort of wasn't a problem. Sorry, okay. I should start with, I think this card used to cost 2 energy, or it drew more cards, or it was you only drew the 2 cards if you recalled, but then that created a problem where if you weren't planted, then the card was so dead that it was unplayable, and you could potentially say, like, well, that's fine. But I think draw cards being completely feast famine, like completely don't work or they work, is kind of tough. But yeah, I determined basically that if you could assemble a Recall Focus Infinite, like, you got it. There's not much to be done about that. I woke up Lagavulin before I needed to, just cuz. I'm gonna do this Strength Potion because I kind of messed up. Do I want to hold Command for next turn? Maybe you know what, I'll hold Light Beam, so I can talk about Light Beam. So, Light Beam is the only banner magic that exists, and realistically, I could probably cut the keyword banner magic and just put on the card that it cannot be played unless you are holding the flag. There used to be more banner magic cards, and I wanted there to be, like, powerful alternatives to when you're not planted, to have cards to play. The thing is, after, like, playing the mod for a while, having other people play the mod, and it being around, the thing is, the general gameplay style of Mummified Hand is gas. The general gameplay style of Flagbearer is you really want to stay planted, and there's not a whole lot of reason to not stay planted. So a lot of it has to do with planting, and then like finding a way to reset your Aura Might by like picking the flag up again and then planting it immediately. So Aura Might being the actual benefit while you're planted, it's 2 Flexterity. And yeah, that's sort of it meant that banner magics were really bad. So there used to be one other banner magic card. It was... Wow, I'm actually dying. It's really surprising to me. I definitely recall this character being very strong, such that Act 1 was kind of a joke. But you can tell that the rust is wearing. So yeah. There used to be, I think, maybe 3. I want to say there was 2, but it might have been 3 banner magics. Do we take a second recall focus when we try to infinite combo? You can't. Well, I'm not going to do that. We have energy for Mummified Hand, so I don't need to take Reveal Leyline, and Haste is kind of like not really it, so we're not going to take it. Aprilshka. 2 attacks, Soul Recall. I don't have another plant, which is kind of an issue. I'd like to find another one. And, yeah, so the one thing that I felt like was necessary to keep was a way to deal damage. So, it's a common player heuristic that you kind of need to have damage to deal with elites in Act 1. Like, that's one of the first problems that you're solving on any character. So, Aegis was the... First, actually, Aegis, I think, was... It was 2 energy, gain, like, a lot of block. And then I realized... I need to double block here. I think I single block, and then I can recall focus, and then... Yeah. Let's get closer to command. But... Oh! Wait, why did I draw an extra card? What was that from? Oh, was it from, did I play Time Vision? I didn't notice. Whoopsie. It's dead, so that's a good thing. Yeah, what was I saying? So, Aegis used to be 2 energy, and I think it's... I don't know if I left it at 2 energy or if it inevitably went to 1, but when I was thinking about Aegis, I thought about having a card akin to, like, Equilibrium, or any kind of... Like, I think Watcher also has a 2 energy common, really big block card. I know Equilibrium is an uncommon. And that's what I wanted to include, but I determined that it's like, well, we can just fill that slot with a card that doesn't need to have the weird banner magic restriction, and instead, like, deals more with what the character is doing. And then I made Temporal Step. So Temporal Step was a big block card at common, with the downside that you draw 1 less card next turn. And that kind of fit better than this, like, you know, planting, recalling thing. It was more like... I think if the character had more to do with planting and recalling, Like, for example, let's say, I think another way to do it, and I would need to change several things in order to facilitate this type of gameplay, but if it was instead, when you recall currently, so when you go planted, that's your aggressive stance, and then recalling is when you pick the flag up again, you get an energy back. So that's the initial way that it works. But what if instead it was something like the next banner magic you play costs 1 less? And then, like, you can always cast banner magics. Maybe they're a little less good on energy, but you can reduce the cost of them by like 1. Maybe you can reduce the cost of them by 2. That means that the energy isn't as good for comboing with non-banner magics, and then you need to be like pretty precise about including a lot of banner magics, like not just generic cards that are strong, but like any kind of banner magic. Whether it's like a buff, not a buff. Oh, actually, there's one more banner magic. And I do remember there is one more, actually, which I think is kind of funny. But yeah, you would need to include a lot more stuff. Maybe that's like a little bit better. Again, the idea of banner magic was that like you're holding the flag and it is something that you cast while the flag is in your hand, as opposed to just all the other crazy garbage that you can do. But yeah, the type of gameplay that emerged from the mechanics that I made did not facilitate that very well, so I basically cut most of the banner magics, except for Light Beam, because who knows, maybe you need an aggressive like thing to do in Act 1. Yeah. So I've already talked about banner ignition and in a previous one, but card is not super great. However, I did take it because we have a mummified hand, and one of the very silly things you can do on flagbearer, similar to how effect runs, is that if we get a banner ignition, we can make it innate. And then we can draw a bunch of cards off of playing all of our pulse cards, which is a sub-archetype of flagbearer cards. So we'll see if we can get that. I don't typically play Slay the Spire characters as if I'm forcing an archetype. So realistically, I actually wouldn't have even picked the banner ignition early. Like, I might have waited for something like more pulse cards, just because there's only really two uncommon powers that we could possibly find. I'm not super sure if I'm going to find them. That is the concern. So go ahead and yeah, the sentry's fight giving me some trouble here. Do I have anything in the yard? I can hold the Time Fissure, maybe? I can play the Time Fissure. I'll just play the Time Fissure. Draw next turn. Yeah, I suppose another interesting detail, things that, like, don't really translate super well. So, this character was supposed to be, like this character, my character, the VTuber model, this character was supposed to be the protagonist of a Metroidvania. That's what it was supposed to be. And I had a really tough time in the early stages of development trying to figure out, like, what things I wanted to translate from that to this, and, like, trying to find inspiration for, like, where I wanted to do stuff. We don't have any blocks, so maybe I take Bolstering Wave. Kind of weird. So one of those things was... Oh, we could just die here. That's so funny. Let's see. Oh my god, for real, we died. That's so funny. Damn. Wait. We didn't die. I thought the thing does like 1 billion damage. I guess it doesn't until we get the events thing. That's so funny. Okay. So one of the things, or one of the original places I was at with how does the aura tick down, like what is the timer for the plant recall mechanic, like what are we doing with all of that? And I thought, oh, you know what? We can, why don't we start the player with less energy at the start of their turn? So therefore, like this is sort of the reverse of what I was saying before, where instead of wanting to stay planted for a long time, you kind of only want to plant when you're safe to recall. Like when you're safe to not be planted anymore, you can feel free to plant it, kind of like a haste, I guess, or not a haste, kind of like a flex. So you could like plant whenever you need to flex, but then when you don't need to flex, you really shouldn't be like planting. But then I thought that was like really weird. Also, you would run into scenarios where like, listen, if you start the turn with 2 energy, you could just die. If you start the turn with like 1 energy, you might just die. And the problem with that is that, similar to people who mess around with HP in Slay the Spire. Actually, do I have command? I had command in the bin. I think I could have killed them. Similar to people who mess around with HP, like anytime you tie something to another resource, like to a system that you did not create, right? We'll take Holy Essence. Like HP, energy, whatever, like amount of keys. So whenever you tie one of your mechanics to a resource that is pre-existing in the game, it is important to acknowledge how valuable that resource is. And I think the unfortunate thing about trying to make it, oh, you start with less energy at the start of your turn, you would really need quite a powerful effect for that to be okay. And I think the unfortunate thing is that if I balanced it such that it was giving the correct amount of value for running out of energy, I think it would probably be busted. Like, in order for 1 energy, like -1 energy on your turn to be good enough, you would really need to have quite the powerful effect. Like, I think about Watcher has an ability like that, right? And I think that card is not good. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that card... Man, do I just, like, maybe don't have enough damage in this deck, huh? Yeah, Fasting. I think it's called Fasting. You're 1 less energy. Like, how... I guess... You know what? I am kind of curious what people think about Fasting, because I remember when I played Watcher, that card was, like, really quite bad. Like, the benefit is not as good as simply playing another card. So, I don't know. But yeah, the idea with the stance draining your energy is that I wanted it to become, like, progressively more straining, which maybe that was also an assumption that I didn't need to take. I actually could have made the stance not get progressively worse, but still have an in-baked timer. So it's like, there's so many small little adjustments you can make to a mechanic to, like, have the numbers work, basically. But certainly in early playtesting, it was like, okay, we're just gonna... Like, I'm going to attempt to play the game. Well, I left the flag down, and now I untap with 0 energy. And we lose. We just lose, and that is the problem. So, that's not great. I think I've talked about Grimoire, and I've talked about Seraphim Form. I haven't talked about March of Time, but I don't think it's good for this deck. I guess that is sort of the issue with making a series where I want to talk about cards, but I can't because I can't pick them because they're bad. We're on Ascension 3. I think I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive with picking cards because we're on Ascension 3. This is the Flagbearer Energy Relic. So usually, my understanding of the design of the energy relics for each character is that they have to do with the character somehow. So the one that... And it's, like, not really a downside all the time, but sometimes it, like, kind of is. So on Ironclad, it's you shuffle wounds into your deck, which the stipulation is that you should be able to exhaust 2 wounds, and that's not that big of a deal. The draw opportunity cost of drawing 2 wounds in the start of your deck is, like, pretty freaking bad. Interesting thing about that relic, though, is that it shuffles it after you draw your first hand, I believe. So you're never screwed for the very first hand that you draw, which I find interesting. So Family Crest is you start with an energy if you are planted on that turn. And now I remember saying, like, oh, it's pretty important to stay planted, but there are definitely times where you might either end the turn not planted, or you might need to recall, or it auto recalls, because you automatically exit the stance after 3 turns, or you... What is the other scenario? Where you have to recall in order to block properly, so maybe you're at -1 and then you recall, or maybe you wanted to recall to get another energy on that turn to play something. So, like, there's a surprising amount of scenarios where you aren't actually planted for Family Crest, which I think is akin to Nuclear Battery on Defect, where, like, okay, it's good and it's there, but then potentially the plasma goes away if you channel orbs or if you, like, didn't capacitor or something like that. So I would say that this energy relic is pretty forgiving and quite good, but you also don't start the combat planted unless you find initiative, which is another flagbearer relic. But yeah, the point is, this looks pretty good, and it is pretty good, but surprisingly, there are a lot of scenarios where it's not actually that strong. I'm gonna not take Pandora's Box because I don't want to end up with a bunch of cards that I have to talk about. Maybe I should anyways, and I should just pick a few to talk about. We're already going to talk about March of Time. I'm going to take Family Crest. So, March of Time was a card that was added in Flagbearer 2.0, and it was actually heavily inspired by Lyrilyte, who sort of, you know, I did some chats about the card, but like the character itself, among other things, and... Ooh. 50-50 of the March? Okay. So, he plays artifacts in Magic the Gathering, like an Artifacts EDH deck, and had a particular card called... It's like, reanimate all of your artifacts. I don't remember what it's called. Oh, Scrap Mastery. So this card is based off of Scrap Mastery, like just a really big mass reanimate, like play a bunch of cards all in one turn. Like super powerful and splashy card. That was the word that we kind of used to describe it. It's fun to play splashy cards. Like, it's fun to resolve a March of Time and just play like a bajillion cards, because upgraded March of Time is like Scry 6 or 5. It might be 5 actually. I think I actually made it 5 so that you didn't 6 just looks awkward on the scry screen, because I think it does like 5 and then 1, and it's just like really weird. So I avoided that. I think actually Future Sight, for the same reason, only scries 5 instead of 6. It just like looks bad. Formless Rapier and Auto Pick here. We're going to transform 2 cards. Divine Reckoning and Excalibur. Do I have the bandwidth to talk about Excalibur? Okay. But yeah, so... In 2.0, I wanted to add a bunch of cards, so I remade a few cards, and then also I elaborated on a lot of the defensive stuff that Flagbearer does. But yeah, I felt like... Actually, was it 2.0? I don't remember now. It might have been slightly after 2.0, because I remember in 2.0 I added a bunch of defense. Like, I added a bunch of defensive cards, defensive tools. Guess I can just Excalibur this time. Kind of funny. Non-planted Excalibur. What is the... Can I see the upgrade of this? See, it's just like a big... Yeah, buyback 6. That's Scry 5, buyback 6. It's just like a really, really big... Like, play a bunch of stuff. Flagbearer also has, like, a number of expensive powers that you want to play. I wonder... Yeah, like, Aura Drain is 2. Seraphim Form... There's one more, I think. I think there's another 3-cost... power that I'm forgetting, that I will definitely remember at some point in time, but I don't. And yeah, it's just like a burst card draw. It's interesting because, like, the Flagbearer has another burst card draw card. So I guess Flagbearer just has 2, kind of. But part of the point of this card is that you're supposed to be able to mitigate against the Time Sickness 3, hopefully by drawing stuff like if Time Fissure was on top of my discard. I actually think it is. I think this is the top 3. So yeah, the point of this card, you can be like, maybe I want to play the things on top of my deck. Maybe I don't. Maybe I just want to buy back the stuff at the bottom. Okay, yeah. So it was actually discard is ordered. Yeah, this is part of the problem. I thought discard was ordered this way. It is ordered the other way. So in order to mitigate against this, you could like retrace and then hold something for next turn and then not have issues drawing less cards. but also lets you kind of burst resolve a bunch of powers. What else can it do? Yeah, there's the other card, which, like, bins your entire deck and then lets you buy it back. I guess just, like, in general, playing... Like, if your last turn was really good, then you can choose, oh, well, I want to play Reinforced Body again, except you're choosing it on the turn that you play the thing, so... I really like March of Time. I think it's super cool. I think there's actually an interestingly large amount of cases where it's, like, not good, because you don't have a way to mitigate against the 3 time sickness, and then you just kind of end up sitting there like, oh, I die. So the other way you could do it is that if you March of Time, play a bunch of cards, and then Time Walk, that's another way to, like, you go to your next turn, you have less stuff, but maybe you add some suspend effects where you are not concerned about going to your next turn. I guess also it's better... time walking is better on a turn where the enemy isn't doing something. I thought was kind of interesting. You're looking for those turns so that you can, like, do some stuff, time walk, like set up, time walk, do some other stuff, like maybe eat a time sickness 3 turn. But yeah, I think here we're gonna do something like... Yeah, this card is just, like, so cool. Sorry, I just really like it a lot. Because this card, and there's one other card, is something that I really like that you have to do when playing this character, which is, like, you actually care about the top of your discard, which it doesn't show really well in the discard pile itself. We already saw that problem come up, but I just really like, oh, I'm going to be playing these 4 cards, and then I want to buy it back. I can't actually do that here, but potentially, if that was a thing that I wanted to do, then I could... I could do that. Maybe I could do something like... This is, like, completely unnecessary, but I kind of just wanted to showcase it, I guess? I don't know. So I'm like, okay, now I have done these things that I wanted to play, and I know that there's a Formless Rapier at the bottom, so I can at least scry 1. Yeah, so Excalibur is going to cost 0. Now I can do something like... Well, I would probably lead Pillars of Light, or, like, command Pillars of Light, but now I can do something like this, so... It's like, what combination of stuff ahead of me? Like, if you treat the deck and discard as, like, the way that the Flagbearer sees it, is that it's like the timeline. It is the things that are going to happen, and it's the things that have happened. Like, the flavor of it is like, okay, I'm going to, like, get this thing that is ahead and this thing that I have already done. I'm going to, like, slam it together and then do this crazy combo turn. It's just, like, one of my favorite cards. I also really like how the art turned out. I like that there's just this, like, army of Flareses from different timelines that are just walking at you, or farming. Okay, so I think we're good on most things. Really what we're looking for here is powers. It'll also give me a good opportunity to talk about the pulse cards and then sort of, like, not need to talk about them ever again. It's not that I don't want to talk about them, it's just that, like, it being one of the core mechanics, one of the core things, means that I wouldn't need to do it again. Did I talk about Banner Edition? I did in the previous one, so... but the main thing about it is that it's kind of heat sinks, but it's heat sinks where you're only caring about your first deck turnover. So one of these costing 0 would be kind of nice. That's not really the one that I wanted to cost 0. Let's play it, though. Why not? Holy Essence probably helps us a lot. Oh, hey! All of those cost 0. Wait. Value! We did it. So let's... I could just Excalibur again. I don't think I talked about this card. So, Excalibur is supposed to be a rare version of whatever that Ironclad card is. That, like, scales 5 times or whatever. 5 times the graphics. 5 times the value. It just works. Certified Todd Howard. Wow, we are really dying. I'm gonna keep being surprised that that's happening. Do we take a second time fissure? Sure. gonna keep being surprised that that's happening because of because of my memories of this character. But I guess we're fighting Act 2 elites, and then our deck isn't like really doing anything. Starting with a March Time is kind of cool. I like that. But it's probably not the best. I think I'd actually rather start with a Rewrite. Yeah. March Time Brawl, when you like don't have anything set up, is like a bit of a question mark, so not the best idea. The Light Beam. So yeah, Excalibur was just supposed to be like some way to pay off actually getting inspiration scaling, which is the Flexterity clone on this character. And it's really interesting because I felt like this card is kind of unplayable. Like, it's supposed to cost 2 in air quotes because you recall then do the damage. So realistically, this card costs 2. The problem with it is that you... God, what is the problem? It's that, like, you want to play cards usually when you're planted. So, like, recalling and putting it all in one thing might leave you with 1 or 2 energy, and then it's kind of questionable if the rest of your turn can do anything with that. But this can certainly do a lot of damage. It can do, like, a bajillion damage with Strength, Oromite. Yeah, I guess, actually, the other thought with it, because it scales off of Inspiration, there's another card that gives you Inspiration when you plant. So you're supposed to kind of do this, like, combo-y, like, planting, recalling, like, wombo combo turn, and then end on a really, really big Excalibur. That's the dream. Maybe I'm just bad at playing the character, but that's not really how it works out. Yeah. It's also fine to just play it as, like, if you have more strength, and then you can sort of... We are like, really dying. Like, it's really bad. Like, we might even lose this run, and I'm gonna have to restart. So... Okay, there we go. Yeah, so it's a cool card. I also really like the flavor of it because obviously it's, you know, it is obviously not beating the Saber allegations with this one reference. But the thing that I like about it is that, aside from Excalibur, it being a reference, you can, like... I like the idea that the flag is on the field, and then you, like, recall it, and you're holding it with 2 hands, like, above your head, and it turns into this big energy sword. Like, it's not just Excalibur. It's the fact that the flag gets super pumped, like, there's a lot of energy in it, and then, like, you're recalling it, and then slamming it on something. It's like it's the cinematic of it. But that's more of a flavor thing, so... Alright, do I take Barrier? No, we have enough... We have enough stuff. Maybe I take a Divination? I don't know, man. I'm looking for more powers, and I just can't find them. Okay, thank God this was an event. Well, I mean, we are gonna get upgraded powers if we find any. We just need to find them. That's the thing. Upgrade all strikes and defense. I actually think upgrading all my defense is, like, pretty reasonable here. Okay. I think we would like the Divine Reckoning to cost 0. Do this. We can command and then start next turn with +1 energy. I don't think I've talked about Divine Reckoning, so Divine Reckoning is a suspend card. So suspend is one of the sub-archetypes of you get stuff next turn. I think it was a cool idea, seeing as the character was supposed to be like a setup character, like you get a bunch of stuff next turn, and then you're supposed to like chain that together, make sure you always have something happening next turn, and then like your advantage snowballs from that. Found that it was a little bit difficult in the end to actually make that work. That makes sense. It's not really like the cards are good, but actually setting up a like turn by turn, you are valuing every single turn, I personally found difficult to do. Maybe it's like not actually that hard. But doing stuff multiple turns in a row, like here, for example, we could march and then like Excalibur and probably like be winning this combat or something, but I guess like if I compare it to something like Equilibrium, it's not like you're trying to equilibrium to draw, to hold onto your hand every single turn. It's just like a couple of turns where you might need a little bit more card draw, more stuff to play, and it's pretty good. And if I view it like that, then maybe it's more like in line with what other Spire characters are doing. Actually, did I even want to do that? Hold on a second. Wait, do I want this like recall focus? I'm kind of just thinking here. It probably doesn't matter that much. We're gonna command, and I'm actually gonna rewrite so that I can draw this card and then march. Wait, that's not how that works. I wanted this card to be in my hand so that I could buy it back with march, but it's not actually important. But yeah, so suspend is a sub-archetype of stuff happening next turn, and Divine Reckoning was just supposed to be an AoE card that facilitates that. So it is 2 energy. It being 2 energy is like kind of rough, but any kind of like plant plus that card is reasonable as an AoE solution, and it just so happens to have suspend. And I think I changed a lot of suspend cards in a similar way, where I think, oh man, this doesn't do anything. A lot of suspend cards in a similar way, where the floor of a suspend card was really, like, exceptionally low, like, really quite bad. And the problem with that was that you couldn't pick them because you're like, well, I don't know if I'm going to survive to another turn. So picking any suspend card kind of ends up being, well, instead of picking just a suspend card, you kind of need to pick a suspend card plus something that facilitates the suspend, and then you're kind of in the feast-famine situation that I've mentioned a couple times and haven't really explained. But if you have a lot of one thing and not a lot of another thing, it's like sort of the problem in most, I was going to say constructed card games, but like modern card games where like if you don't have 2 halves of a thing, you end up with problems. So like the classic example for me is in Magic the Gathering. If you're playing a life gain deck, if you draw all of the things that gain you life, but none of the things that pay off you gaining life, then you kind of end up with some problems. Maybe I upgrade the recall focus. I am at 20. I'm not really sure if that's going to be a problem. It's like I want to say that retaining command is really good, probably, because we want to proc Family Crest, but also like not be in trouble. Let's see if I get a good power here. Sacred Ground is a pulse payoff, and I guess it's kind of good against the ads. Probably Aura Shatter's better, I think, but like I'm gonna take Sacred Ground just because. So yeah, I ended up changing a bunch of the suspend cards to be like pretty good on face, or like exceptionally good as a suspend card. So I think Time Fissure is one of those cards where like it reads like a strike plus, but like honestly, if you thought Charge Battery was good on defect, like Time Fissure is like you get an extra energy and you draw a card. I think the card's pretty exceptional. Also a newer card. It's really funny to me how it's like, okay, well, turns out that the newer cards are quite good, and the older cards are maybe like a little too stinky. But yeah, I think part of the problem was that, you know, I learned a lot by making this mod, just for the record, like making it and actually trying to balance it and stuff. Was that there was a lot of like, oh well, I want the game to be hard. Like I want the character to be difficult to play. I want you to like have to stance and do stuff. But the problem with that is that like, well, it also needs to be fun. Like that's kind of the issue. And like things are difficult or games are hard inherently because of the opportunity cost of like playing the game. So whenever I have to make a decision between playing March Time or not playing March Time, or setting up a March Time, or like any of the cards that I'm playing right now have an opportunity cost of like, well, how is that going to interact with this March Time that I might potentially play this turn? You know, and then the cards left in my deck. Like, there's so many things to be evaluating, and that's what makes it interesting. But if you make the character so like hard to play, like not in a good way, but like hard to play in the sense that it's just bad, like the character is just bad, then like it's not fun. because the decisions you're evaluating are basically like, well, I was kind of blocked into a hole, like hard to use but not hard to play. So if you took suspend cards that are basically unplayable, then you you just lose. You just lose because they're unplayable. We luckily have rewind here to help us with the time sickness too. I guess also this time fissure helps. We do kind of just want to be playing like time fissure every single turn. So rewind unfortunately doesn't work in the way that I want it to work. I think we die here. That's kind of funny. Didn't expect myself to be losing on Ascension 3. Here, maybe what we'll do is... We're at 40 minutes. Maybe I'll just, like, play a run where I just try to, like, win the game. Instead of talking about cards. But just to finish up the thing about Suspend is, Suspend was sort of inspired by Havencraft from Shadowverse, where I liked their amulets that popped after, like, X amount of turns. Unfortunately... I wasn't able to make things that happened like 3 turns from now. There's a precedent for that with the bomb, but also the bomb is a really bad card. So, like, trying to make effects that were good after 3 turns, like, maybe it could have been a retain kind of angle, similar to Watcher, but I just, like, didn't really end up designing stuff like that, because the sort of, like, stance dancing plant stuff I thought was, like, really interesting. And it was more so related to inspiration and playing aggressively. And I just like the stance dancing aspect. That was the thing that I really liked doing. So maybe trying to make the payoff more similar to like, what if it was like, here are time cards, and then time cards get reduced by 1 every time you stance dance, so they have retain inherently in your hand. And like, you're trying to stance dance for the purpose of like getting the payoff of this card. Like, that's like a mechanic that would pay that off better than not that. Than not that. I'm just trying to like relate the two mechanics of time and time spent like waiting for something to happen or getting to the next turn, but also goodness, it is hard to get my thoughts in order for this. I'm very sorry. Yeah, just trying to like relate those two mechanics together, as opposed to being like, well, here's flexterity, and flexterity doesn't have anything to do with like making it to the next turn, except for the fact that like the aura is timed, or maybe it gives you more time to block, but like that doesn't really do anything. Okay, so let's try to win Ascension 3. I think I've done enough yapping, so we'll just see if we can like narrate getting to the end of the thing. So let's choose a rare card. Blessing is incredibly good if we can resolve it. So here we have 2 plus late shop. There's no... Wow, these paths are really weird. I like the bonfire before the thing, just because we just took damage. We can take 4 encounters, potentially the Flaming Elite, or we can branch off into this. So let's start here. No command turn 1. Would it be how it do? Pull the strike. Command. 2 strikes does not do it. Let's go defend. Pulse for 3, and now it's 15. Can I kill it now? 3 strikes. 1, 2, 3. Let's add flag throw because we need a plant. Having a plant is good. Note is not a real event. Still no plant turn 1. That kind of sucks. So it's probably going to be flag throw, strike, defend. Can we do another strike? I think so. And then strike. Barrier is probably one of the best defend cards. We'll take it. Upright defense, I should say. 3 will take out the back, and then anything clears the front. Fire Potion is going to be great. Really like Recall Crescent as burst damage, so we'll take it. So we have like 2 plants, 1 recall in the deck so far, and I think that's going to be good, unless we run into this garbage. Let's deal with Fat Gremlin. Block. Do a Recall Crescent. Strike. Defend. And then probably like Plant plus strike kills this. And then we're probably clear to just kill this thing next turn. Okay, Elite Fight 1. Let's see what we do. Momentum Swipe is great. We're probably going to be Stance Dancing into the moon. Let's run. Elite Fight 1. Let's go Command, Barrier. I think I want to Recall, because we can still draw Flag Throw. And we have Momentum Swipe, so we did not draw Flag Throw, but we did draw Retrace. Retrace, very good. Could have double blocked there, maybe. Like, no damage. Wow, I can't block this turn, that's funny. Let's just kill this thing. Dies next turn to Pulse. Strike. Auto Recall next turn means we have 4. We can block this. Undo is cool. I like Undo. I like Undo. We can take another Elite Fight. Is great. Buy a potion. Okie dokie. Anything to do? Oh, it only undoes one, right? I forgot. No, I normally upgrade undo like very, very fast, so I'm like, oh wait. Wait, I didn't get 2. I was expecting to get my command back. I think we auto recall here. And we let the blessing tick. Oh, blessing was the other 3 energy power that I was thinking about. I was like, what? Why is blessing making my neurons fire? But yeah, I was talking about March being good at resolving more expensive cards, and blessing is one of those. Unfortunately, blessing used to be a banner magic, and then it was unplayable. It just like, didn't work. Recall detonate. I have 1 aura. This means that this is just like a recall focus. Or not recall focus, recall crescent. So we're probably good. Do I need a plant? I don't think so. Yeah. Wait. Block, block. Big dose. Pulse here. What is on top? Slime? Could just like barrier twice. I guess we could just play everything, you know, now that I think about it. We can actually just play everything. Very good. Time Fissure or Essence. I think we are Time Fissuring. This card's very good. Let's go beep. Bop. Block for 12. So both the Loses on the side dead, and then we have Bop. It is a little bit of a regret, I suppose, that Pulse hits everything, which, like, in my mind, it, like, really should, because it's kind of this, like, aura. It's just this consistent aura that pulses out from the flag that does damage to everything, but AoE is another one of those mechanics that are, like, kind of, like, not really sacred, but there's a context to what AoE means. Like, Electrodynamics is a rare card on Defect, right? So having, like, Mercury Hourglass, I think, is an uncommon relic, I think. So there's a context for AoE being, like, not good all the time, but it's like when you need it, you want it, and it's like sort of not everywhere. So this character just having access to it is sort of like okay. I might take the Sacred Ground just cuz. Nah. Let's remove a strike. Okay, let's upgrade Blessing, maybe? Upgrade March. Upgrade Undo is actually pretty good. Pretty good. Undo is the dual cast card on this character, so akin to Catalyst on there's like double tap, catalyst, and defect has echo form, which is like really funny. And that's for all of the card types. So I was trying to figure out like how I wanted to include some kind of card type doubler, and I was like, oh well, the character centers around like being able to play stuff that you just played, or like, you know, the cards that are on top of your discard pile are the things that you played the most recently in time. So that's kind of what we're doing. Let's hold and undo for next turn. Man, retrace undo loops are like actually my favorite. I just like getting to undo every single turn. It's so funny. So let's... Unfortunately, we can't play this Aura Blessing, and also I think we don't have a block in the discard. So do I want to March? March doesn't buy back anything, so I think we just have to do it like this. That's all we can do. I'm fine to take a little bit of damage. Just like 2 defends. We didn't have 2 defends. We're at -1 right now. Let's... You know, I don't know. Let's do this. Here's some stuff. I suppose our block isn't like the most impressive. Like, I really want to play this this Aura Blessing, but also I don't want to take the damage. So maybe... Like, the thing is, maybe we don't need it, right? It's like not necessary. What's on the deck? What if we March first, see what we get? It's a pretty sick March. So what we're going to do is we're going to Fissure, then Strike, and then Undo, and then we'll Fissure again. And we have mitigated 2 times Sickness. Draw Dose. Auto Recall. Oh, I can't stance on them because I'm taking damage. No. My momentum swipes. I am getting like 7 billion dexterity from Kunai though. Oh, you know what? What if we like... What if we just like do a bunch of damage? We do it again. Yeah, Undo is really cool because it can pair together like a Plant Recall. Just like the 2 actions you just did being like Plant and Recall. Just feels really good. Undo notably has the keyword Paradox on it, which is hard once per turn. And it is a hard once per turn because otherwise 2 Undus would infinite with each other. Also, it's like... This is the interesting thing, is that like 2 Undus means you have to find 2 Undus. Is it okay if you like get 2 It's like kind of getting 2 Exhumes. And then you have to draw both of them. Is that okay? I don't know. Like, because 2 Exhumes doesn't like inherently do anything by itself. You need to have a payoff, so you need 3 cards, whereas I think 2 upgraded Undus is probably like like pretty easy. We're gonna not do that. Oh, we are stance dancing for sure. The upgraded upgrade relic that isn't actually upgraded. Okay, we're taking our time. We took 13 minutes in Act 1. Dang. Let's go ahead and start here. We haven't quite gotten the ball rolling yet. Here I go looping again. I actually think what we're going to do here is we're not going to play the momentum swipe so that we can buy back these 2 cards. And we're going to go like this. And we'll vault. We won't even have to vault. Sidearm, Rip Time, Temporal Step. We have Barrier, but it's our only block card, so I'll take the Step. Step, pretty good. Let's send it. Can't play the March. I could have, but like I didn't think it was good. On top. March? March is on top? So I think we can command, make 2 energy, Blessing, command, recall Crescent, March. So our top 2 cards are recall Crescent, command. We're gonna have time sickness, but it might also just be dead. If I buy back 4, if we take these 2, 1 retrace means we're not hurting too much. It's not already dead. Yeah, it's already... Okay. It's like, that was really cool. If only I needed to actually do all of that. Aura Shatter's pretty nice. Makes our damage more. More damage, more good. More good, more damage. Let's see if we can get this Centurion dead. Unfortunately, we aren't really, we're not really able to do it this turn. Can draw a whole lot. Swipe. Wait, temporal step. Don't want the damage. March? Is it March time? Time to march? Time walk. Strike. So we'll go 1. Do I want to pick something? Well, I can't. So we'll go strike. Buy these 2 back. We'll go 1, 2 again. Ooh. That's pretty gas. We'll do it like this. Hold undo for next turn. We won't have anything in the discard. So hold... Maybe just play Time Fissure? We'll play Time Fissure and then draw a random card off the top. This doesn't kill it. So... And strike, momentum swipe. Just do these 2 again. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I mean, it's going well, it's just, it's like, man. Not going particularly fast. I mean, not like this character normally goes particularly fast. So I think we have Retrace... Undo? It's kind of cool. Maybe defend first before recalling. 1... The eternal question. To undo or not to do? Fine with taking 3. 3's probably okay. Swipe. 2. So here we could... We don't want to tear because we don't get our time walk back. Maybe we just do it to hold command and march. And we can undo some stuff. So like command, undo. Now we have energy. Go 1, 2. Okay. Banner ignition bolstering. Don't think so. Let's go ahead, remove a strike. We'll go HP upgrade here. Like, do I want to upgrade this tear reality? Oh, it makes it cost 0. It's like Aura Shatter costing 1, maybe. Maybe March. March is a pretty big upgrade. Upgrade March. To do 2 more things. Basically draw an entire grip. Yeah, we'll fight an elite. It's fine. Beep. Now I'm realizing I don't know what we're doing. Go temporal step, the block. We'll go hold the step. It's kind of what we were looking for. Man, it's like I don't actually want to have to hit it, but... Sidearm. Take another turn. Undo. Undo, retrace, defend. Pick up 1, 2, 3, 4. If we mill 2, this is sidearm plus like strike, defend. Command. Elite down Shuriken is probably insane. Swipe. We're good. March, undo. March is actually nice. It lets me get back my blessing. Take another turn. Draw one card. Might have been a mistake. We get one tick of aura blessing. Sure. The undo loops. The roopers. We're looping. Okay, take flight. We have defensive options already, but maybe we want more. I love picking cards. I just like taking cards. I do. I really do. Blessing, Terriality, gold. You can take Blessing of the Forge. I'd like to sell something here. Do I take this card? I don't think we need it. We have Shuriken and Kunai. So I think this. I wonder if I want Flag Throw. We have 2 plants basically, plus whatever recalls and stuff. We might actually take a second Flag Throw. I think this is okay. Okay, let's go. Aura Blessing. Snecko, I hate you so. Making my life very difficult. Pick these up. We'll go ahead and hold undo. And I can't defend. Terriality, Crescent. There's a time walk. I could hold like March. We'll hold March and then play some of these. Sidearm. Can I just defend this turn? I can. I'm just gonna defend. That's fine. Don't actually need to time walk. Oh my god. Oh my god, Snecko, I hate you so much. Literally the bane of my existence. Why are you making it cost 1 energy to play my Flurry of Blows clone? I don't think I talked about Momentum Swipe, but it is literally just Flurry of Blows. I guess an interesting note about that card is that I tried messing around with the numbers on it, and it did not work. I was like, well, what if it, like, dealt damage 2 times when you played the card? Or what if it did, like, this other thing? Or what if it did XY? And it's like, no, it turns out that if you have a buyback card and then you're going to be stance dancing, like, 4 is already quite good and probably enough. Okay, so we have a plant, we have a recall, we have a plant. I don't think we recall again. Just 21. 21? Maybe we hold, well, we could just time fissure. We can hold command for next turn, I guess. We could hold recall crescent for next turn if we draw flag throw. I don't think that's it. Do this. I didn't defend. Awesome. Sick. I was like, we had the temporal step in hand, and I was looking at it, and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna play this temporal step. Immediately did not do that. Hey, look at all those rares. Man, what's it like having so many gas rares on your character? Just like pick these up. So many gas rares. Hair! This is basically a flagbearer relic. Grasp. Man, I just have so many rares. Why do I have so many rares? How is this happening? We'll grasp. I don't know why I'm trying to kill the cleric here. I guess because I can. I'm doing it because I can. Well, tear reality to have grasp for next turn. And then... yeah, that's fine. Like, I'm not going to draw these off grasp if I play them, so... let's do this. Just do whatever. Do we take a haste? Just like finally, just randomly take haste. We'll upgrade Time Walk, Grasp, Tear Reality, Blessing. It might be Blessing. Just start with 2. No, you know what? Let's upgrade Retrace. Upgrading Retrace is nice. It makes it cost, in air quotes, 0. Let's find Blessing. We did not find Blessing. Okay, so let's... instead, we're gonna pick up Blessing. Wait, what's on top of our thing? Wait, it's on top! Wait, Blessing is on top. This is gas. Oh, it doesn't work, though, because... What if what I do... okay, so I'm gonna Momentum Swipe. And draw a card off of Bottle. No! It ruined the plan! I was gonna Retrace, pick up Momentum Swipe, so that I could play 1 Retrace. And then I was gonna undo to pick up the thing. No! It's so terrible. Okay. So... now what do I do? Let's go ahead and... command... this could have just been 2 videos. It's, command... we'll pick up command... we're gonna not play this Momentum Swipe because it's gonna mess with our undo. Now we undo. We play everything again. We'll command... present... let's pick up... command again... and now we can sidearm and then play everything. May discard again. Maybe we want this Time Walk? Well, I can't draw it, I don't think. Just leave it on top. So 1, 2. We'll pick up... perhaps Recall Crescent. 1, 2. Let's play the entire world. Wow, that was turn 1. Draw 0 cards. Die. Oh boy. Sweet. I time walked myself, that's what happened. I was like, I played all of these Retraces, so I'm gonna have energy for next turn. I did not have any cards to play. Collar, I guess? Collar is basically a flagbearer relic. Oh, right. I guess we haven't been getting our keys. I'm just realizing now. We haven't been getting keys. So 1. Dose. Time Walk. Right. I had, God, these 3 energy powers are hard to play. Maybe I didn't want to take the Seraphim form. Maybe it was a little ambitious, you know? Except we can undo it and it's sick. Sweet! Let's go! Still taking like 1 billion damage here. Step. Block some of it. Now we are feathered. 1, 2, 3. Do it again. 1, 2, 3. Pick up. Command. Do the whole song and dance. Do it again. Miracle Temporal Spike. Recall. Fine. We can take flight on turn 0, and then take 8 damage. Command. I think I can just march. Play all of these. And it's dead. Time fissure again. Just take all the time fissures all the time. I could just block. I'll just block. Air reality can not... It's like not full value. Not full value. Just continue waiting. I guess our upfront draw is a little awkward. Well, grasp bait is supposed to be like burst draw, but maybe like a... It's like divination? I don't think it's divination. This is fine. Okay, now we have everything again. My goodness. Like grasping? I think we can get away with March. March finds Seraphim form, which is sick. Just go like fissure twice, undo. Fissure 2 more times. Take 18. Well, we can play the entire world, but we're dying. Yeah, I think we're gonna wait. Darn Riding Mass being the bane of any kind of attack combo, flurry of blows, can never kill this thing. There we go. Holy moly. Maybe Consuming Light is a kind of decent mana sink for when I play all of these time fissures. I don't think so. Jump inside. Sure. Or a slow Aegis Bash. Borrow time? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think I need the bash. Just gonna remove this strike. We get an Ancient Potion. Yeah, now's maybe a good time to recall. It's like too early to Seraphim form, because it's gonna be doing stuff for a few turns. 5 turns or whatever, right? I guess we just pitch it to undo and everything's good. I'm just like the greatest flagbearer player there is. Said the only flagbearer player. Okay. Do this again. Hold this. Command. I could hold Time Walk. Seems good. Retrace. Can I hold anything else next turn? Just Time Fissure now. Now I want to double Time Fissure? Time Fissure Command, maybe? Maybe Time Fissure Flag Throw, because those cost energy. Now they don't cost energy. Oh, we can go call. It's like I'm really just looking for an Oryx. Would have loved to see one at any point in time, but here we are. Do all this again. Ah! It's dead. Divine Flash, Rip Time. Nah. Where's my one silly power? I need it. I need the silly power. Draw? Draw? Take 3. Fine, we'll take 3. Wait, Time Walk? Maybe Time Walk is fine. March? Is March good? March gets me... March could get me Seraphim Form and Blessing. It's kind of sick. Take the Time Fissure as well. Oop. Oop. Scaling and hallway fights, let's go! Alright. And now... the flag throw. Man, these... I'm gonna just sit here and do nothing against these guys. This is so funny. This is literally the flagbearer classic. Like, I can never hope to ever attack these things because they do a billion damage to me. Well, I can attack them like once. This happens a lot. This happens more often than you think. Okay, 1 down. We take 10 if we play anything. So we just don't. Still can't attack it. That's so funny. And it's like, now I need to find a way to get planted. How do I plant? How do I do it without dying? There we go. Just slowly milking the pulse damage. It's that's all I can do. Oh god. There we go. Take 16, idiot. Divine Flash, still no. My goodness, where is... Oh, Winged Locket, no! Okay. This is not what I was looking for. What was I looking for? Looking for something. I was looking for something. The Synchronize? No. Probably not that. I guess we'll just buy this. Or XL, that's what I was looking for. Still no Or XL. Ooh, I guess we can lose Sidearm. Losing Sidearm is probably fine. Remove. We defend. Let's upgrade. Maybe Seraphim Form. Yeah, Seraphim Form used to give you infinite feather. Like, you would just have it all the time. Now it's 10, and then it's like... I remember having a discussion with a viewer about, like... Well, it kind of sucks that it's not infinite anymore. And it does, that's true. But also, like, what encounter are you doing where you're past turn 10? That was kind of the argument for it, where it's like... Yeah, you do still need to end the encounter somehow. Like, you can't just have permanent Seraphim Form. You do need to do something. Which I think it's reasonable that that's a point of contention. We'll just march again. Beep. Oh! He's cost 0. It's like a command and time walk. Wow! I didn't realize... I didn't even think about this, but yeah, Ethereal Banner on Recall just pays for time walk. That's probably a flavor win. We'll take Cantrip. It's pretty free. I guess it's not free versus Time Eater, but... Let's upgrade... Maybe Grasp. Maybe not taking Time Sickness 2 is a decent idea. Okay. What's the plan? Aura Shatter. Mill. Now what do we do? Top card is Blessing Barrier. Unfortunately, we don't actually get to... We don't have enough space in hand. So this is the same situation that I was in before. So what we're going to do is we're going to retrace this barrier. And we're at full. So... No, it still doesn't work. Wait, the thing before wouldn't have actually worked either. That's so unfortunate. Grimoire would have been good, I think. I think a Grimoire would have been nice. Let's, take flight. I'm currently time sickness 1. Let's take flight, and then we're going to pick up this and Seraphim form. The next turn we can play Seraphim form. Yeah, it's a little unintuitive for how flight works, but it processes the damage per enemy. So it doesn't, it unfortunately, I think it's how I would want it to work, but unfortunately it does not calculate in between attacks when it probably should. It's more in the player's favor for it to not do that, which I think that it's fine overall. But it is a little unfortunate because it doesn't really work how you think it would work. I wasn't paying attention there for like half a second. Let's pick a flag throw. Throw the flag. Miss a momentum swipe. Momentum swipe count. Missed 1. Wait, that didn't clear? Oh my god. Missed momentum swipe count. +1. Anything in the discard? We have no block. We have 1 block. Now we can undo this. Let's do 1 big block. 1 big block and a recall present. I don't think we're going to be able to do 200 damage in 1 turn, unfortunately. Just build these. And we're going to pass. Who defends? One, 2. We're gonna undo these before we momentum swipe. Accursed Time Eater. Just let me play my Flurry of Blows combo deck. Stop being so annoying. Send it all. 1, 2, 3. Bam, bam. Bam. Stupid Time Eater. Stupid Time Eater being annoying and stupid. Okay. Let's go ahead and get right into the news. Maybe this. Maybe Time Walk. Yeah, you know what? Time Walk. Maybe Time Walk. We already have, like, double the thing, whatever it's called. Double time fissure. We have 2 time fissures. We do. Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, we have 2 time fissures, right? And I have nothing. I guess we can, like, duplication potion or a blessing. That makes sense. Dang, this run took longer than I thought it would. Sorry I keep mentioning it, but I'm just a little surprised. That's... Grasp? What is our plan? Top card is Time Walk, actually? It's pretty good. So if we go, like, plant... No, well, we drew it, but we can't play it. I was gonna say, Ink Bottle is screwing me over! I'm just not paying attention to it, and it's messing me up! God, I'm so tilted. I need command. Thank God. Okay, well... Command... Plant... we'll recall, and then tear reality to hold this card and this card. And then we're gonna time walk. I'm pretty sure we time walk. And then now we can do everything again. Let's do it all again. Just run it back. I think we'll just run it back. Man, I remember, I definitely remember Time Fissure being a good card, but I didn't think it was, like, that good. It's pretty good. Well, it's good with March, because you can go, like, Fissure, March. Like, Fissure helps to pay for March, and then if you draw March, then you just, like, play it all. We don't have a Formless Rapier yet, surprisingly, so we'll just take it. Okay. We are looking for our scaling. Where's our scaling? It's not here. I think we'll Artifact Potion so that we can block the vulnerable debuff. It's like, do I want to Time Walk and then see if it's on top? I, like, kind of want to. We could also March, and then that looks 6. But then we, like, get vulnerable. You know what? Whatever. Okay, sick. We drew, like, literally everything. Go ahead and play the Blessing. We'll be taking a bunch of damage here. Luckily, we're on Ascension 3. Let's go Command. Right? Just Momentum Swipe in the bin. So Command. We'll get Energy, Flag Throw, Time Fissure, Momentum Swipe. Do I Time Walk? Or I can just hold March for next turn. And then we can, like, lead on a March and do all the stuff that we just did. I think that's probably better than time walking. I want to, like, get past this turn, so let's hold... Well, let's play the Fissure. Let's just play Fissure, because we're going to get to play it anyways. Oh, I suppose there's, like, less things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's fine. Seraphim form is relatively free. We are getting attacked for 60. That is important to note. I also forgot to dual cast the thing. Okay, this is more awkward than I thought it was going to be. Let's, Take Flight means this damage is halved, so let's start there. Oh, I actually don't know if Flight goes away off of the Beat of Death. I don't think it does. I think it's like when you get attacked and take damage. Let's go... Yeah, maybe this is a blocking turn, despite how I want it to not be a blocking turn. Might just be a blocking turn. Let's go Seraphim form. It appears that it did not go down, so let's... We can, like, play more cards. We can play more cards. Let's play more cards. So we'll play Barrier. We'll do this. I think I did that in the wrong order. But it is okay. I think we're doing just fine here. We've finally drawn the curses. Undo isn't super great. We can draw Slimed Plus. We go Grasp here. Then we can go play this. I think we want Present Flag Throw again. Undo, swipe, Present Flag Throw. Missed a Momentum Swipe. Missed Momentum Swipe, count +1. Command. So we have command, there's a burn, and there's some stuff on the deck. I think we want, yeah, like undo Time Fissure. Formless Rapier. Time Walk's probably good. We don't want Temporal Step. So we want Flag Throw and Command, so we can Flag Throw and then Command. Do we need energy or draw a card? Oh, wait, that messed it up. I was like, we need the energy, but also I didn't want to pick a formless rapier. Whoops. So instead we're going to go momentum swipe. Let's go fissure command. Pick these two up. Go 1 to this one. Fissure, time walk. Retrace, undo. Do some undo loops. Do a little bit of loops, or I could draw off of ink bottle because I refuse to keep track of it. Now we have barrier recall crescent, like doing actually nothing with it. Sweet. Okay, let's go swipe. Maybe like fissure, but we have no block. Maybe we have to do barrier. So let's go command. We'll go barrier fissure, I think. We actually didn't need to play the second barrier because I forgot we have shuriken. Oh god. Yeah, it's just like not even close. We'll hold command. Okay, now we want command and flag throw, I think. Pick up 2. Make sure we don't die. Now we want to draw a card with this. See what's on top. Recall Crescent is pretty huge, and it's dead. Okay, so that's going to be it for today. If you're still watching at 1 hour and 30 minutes, oh my god. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your support as always. Please consider liking, comment, subscribing. If this was interesting to you, again, please let me know. If you want me to just play the character and we just want Ascension climb to 20 and all of these dev anecdotes are actually not interesting, then let me know. Let me know and we'll change how the runs are going. But hopefully it's been interesting. I enjoy talking about the character and all the design things I went through. I really felt like I learned a lot by making this character. It's not perfect. That's not the idea. But like there were things that I figured out by simply making cards, adjusting them, making balance changes, and all that stuff. So I think it's a good case study. But that's going to be it. So thank you so much, everybody, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.